Hello, everyone. Glad to be here. Wasn't expecting on making a video, but then I thought about, man, this is just like a huge day. We celebrate the Super Bowl, we celebrate, the World Series, the NBA championship, March Madness, and today we saw something in American history and world history. We saw the first American Pope elected by the conclave in Vatican City and in Rome. And we were introduced to a man that came from Chicago and has dedicated his life to supporting the poor and evangelization, as well as uh, poverty and taking vows to not live extravagant. Although he did take a change from what Pope Francis, Pope Benedict, what Pope Benedict did was come out in all white. He came out in a more decorative fashion, a more elaborate. Nothing wrong with that. Ceremony, beauty and pageantry that can unite us. It's not always a bad thing. It's not always an over the top thing. It's just his style, and it seemed to fit. And you've seen the world holding their breath, waiting for the white smoke. And I thought, not to bring politics into this, but I gotta. I mean, it's just been on the tip of my tongue. Other people thinking the very same thing I'm thinking. Um, it's kind of like a response to Trumpism. And, I'm not saying that Trump's all bad or all good. I'm not taking political sides. I'm not taking a partisan stand on the right or left, not doing that. But Trump, in the regal gold and gold ceilings and gold walls and gold fixtures and, Pope Leo the 14th, he comes from the Augustine chapter of the Catholic Church, which is a 13th century part of the Catholic Church, sector of the Catholic Church. It's never had a pope under its umbrella. So Augustine, shout out to you guys, shout out to the United States. It's a great moment. Hopefully, a lot of people are doing without because we have a system. Let's face it, a system of, you know, everything's about business in the United States. Everything's about being a profitable business. We're even turning government and social work into business. Things like charity websites are being turned into big business. They're no longer charities. They're places where the richest people can go to get more money and actually push out the people who need charity, and the people with the most money to put on the best show get the most donations. And it's not even really charity anymore. It's becoming like an investment, right? And so the richest people are doing the best, um, using these platforms that were supposed to be for everybody. And speaking of YouTube, it's a platform for everybody, slowly becoming warped into this capitalist mindset that only money matters and money is the deciding factor. With AI, we've moved into artificial intelligence, no longer being educated and smart and wise. It's not all that important. What matters is going to be your bank account. That's horrible. I'd love to be wrong, but I don't think I am. I really don't. And America had a lot of immigrants, but we've got a whole new wave of immigrants. They're not here to practice their religion. Some of them are not here for political reasons. Some of them are here just to make money. They came over here and they see America as their piggy bank. They see the locals and they think the local Americans are weak people, and they're not very strong. And I love this selection because this sends a message that America wasn't just about money. People came over here to practice their religion, to have liberty, to have their time free from government and things like that in a good way. I'm definitely not anti-government, but I certainly am anti-government in the sense of liberty being removed to force people to work all the time because they're poor. And that's where we're coming to. This is the loggerhead. Rent has gone up, retail prices have gone up, groceries have gone up, gas has gone up, cars have gone up, everything in the United States has gone up. The days of the 50s and 60s and 70s where you really just life was a breeze. If you really wanted to be super rich, you could pursue that. But if you didn't, hey, it was your, if you wanted to coast and enjoy your days on this earth reading a book, that was okay. Now we're getting to the point where we're saying you cannot be well educated unless you're rich. You cannot take time out to read Shakespeare unless you're rich. You can't take time out to read some religious work unless you're rich. You must have money or you've got to pay high rent and it never ends, it never ends, it never ends. And that's what a lot of people think. You know, and I know that not everybody thinks that, but it doesn't really matter what people think. What matters is the direction that things are going. An opinion really means nothing. And the direction that things are going is everything's being turned into a profitable business. Why can't government be a business? Why can't YouTube, which is started real cheap and inexpensive to use, why can't it be a quadrillion-dollar business, a trillion gazillion-dollar business? Why can't we advertise all the time? Free stuff is horrible because you have so much money that you start to despise free stuff because you feel so proud when you buy groceries that you actually might want to see grocery prices higher. Now, I don't think like that, but somebody who has a lot of money and a lot of power, they might be so arrogant as to think, God, these things are so cheap. I'm almost embarrassed to buy them. Horrible, right? But those kind of thinking processes getting twisted because money taking over every aspect of our life. America needed this. America needed a pope. We needed someone to say, especially an Augustinian pope. That is the most beautiful thing you could have done. The United States of America is more than just money. We are more than just giving the rich people all the power. We're more than just a business. We're a tough people. There's nobody tougher than America. I know a lot of people don't think so, but if you Eastern Europeans are so tough, why didn't you stay in your God-forsaken countries? You came over here to get rich, and then you look down at longstanding Americans, and I've heard them run their mouth, anti-union, uh, anti just democracy. What would you come over to our democracy for if you hate unions and you hate workers having rights, and now you're in America and you're trying to say, this is a problem. Now, I'm not going to go on and say, I'm sure there's wonderful Eastern Europeans in our country, but you bring over an enslaved mentality to a country of liberty and freedom. It's not all about working all day. It's not all about paying the highest rent. Who's gone this way? I mean, with Airbnb, I mean, there's no cheap prices on Airbnb. Nothing's cheap. Nothing's cheap as opposed to what used to be the prices. Cars, cheapest you're going to find is a $7,000-8,000 vehicle, maybe. That's not cheap. I mean, they've done everything to drive the prices up. All our metadata, they're using, God forbid, to just push prices up. I mean, I believe they're even finding out where people live that are poorer, trying to find the owners and then talk to the owners and jack the price up and get those people out of their living space. That's how evil they are. I wouldn't put it past them. Not everybody's doing that, but it doesn't have to be everybody because look at the direction the country's going. This is, a lot of people are going to say, well, he's not elected. He's not a politician. He doesn't rule over here. This doesn't mean anything. But some of the church groups, especially some that are left wing, and I don't care if you're right or left wing, they're doing things out there for the poorest people. They're helping poor people. Uh, Great. Thank God we have exemptions for most of these churches. Then you'll have people on the left who don't know anything. They're actually helping the business community. They're left wingers. They're not liberal at all, but they think they're liberal. And they say crazy stuff like, let's get rid of the tax exemption status for the church because look at Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen made a ton of money. It has nothing to do with his church. It's a business outside of his church. He made money in a separate business entity that has nothing to do with the charity that he does for his church and the money that comes in from his church. People just make up stuff, and some people are aware of this, right? But kudos to the selection of Pope Leo the 14th. This is a beautiful message to the American people, to the world, to the people here to turn over a new leaf. It's not just about business. It's not just about money. We're more than money. We're more than someone that just works all day. I mean, what kind of life is it that you work all day? I mean, smart people take sabbaticals, right? Rich people take long vacations, right? I'm not saying they don't work hard. I've never said that. There's people that take 5, 6 months off, but somehow we've gotten to the idea that if you're poor, you never should get any time off. What if there's some cases where people can't get out of debt. The credit card laws are now tighter. They need to be actually loosened, and people need to be able to go default on it for pennies on the dollar like they used to be able to do. Now they never say that anymore. You can go default on it for pennies on the dollar. For some reason, the credit card companies have become more ruthless. They got their lawyers to talk to our congressional people. Our congressional people have been sold out from those lawyers, from the credit card companies. And now they got all these laws thinking, hey, no one can go default on pennies for the dollar. Why? Because more people are in credit card debt than ever. We need to bring back the laws that these credit card companies are going to take huge losses. They deserve it. My God, 25, 29, 30, 32, 34%. We've never seen that. Biden let that get out of control. He did nothing to stop those people. We do have the CFPB, thank God. And in the end, it's not just about money. It can't be. Society is unsustainable if it just is about money. It will not be sustained. And people who don't know the American history, they just came over here. Americans are weak. They are not strong people at all. We will break them. We will take all their money. We outwork them. We are Eastern European. I mean, I don't know. I'm being ridiculous, right? They're being ridiculous too because I know some of them. I went to college with them. I thought they were nice people and they were horrible people. Uh, Finding out they never helped me get a job when they got a good job at an American company. They wouldn't even write me a reference. And then one of them started getting nasty with me. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to talk about my old school boxing Rocky Balboa stuff. Okay. I'm not going to do that to you. But who the fuck are you? Okay. Who are you? You don't help out your fellow alumni. You don't help out your fellow student that worked with you and peer. You don't give a shit about nothing but money. You've made six figures for the past 15 years and you're non-American and you only came here for the money. And you're lecturing me about what the country's about in business. I don't want to hear it, man. This is a slap in the face against the enemies of America because we are bigger than just money. We're bigger than just wealth. And hey, I got no hard feelings against anybody from any country. God bless them. They're here, and none of us are perfect. And we have to work on becoming better people, not just richer people. We have to work on becoming better people. Money isn't everything. But again, I will tell you this, and I say this and I mean this, and I may sound like a businessman, but the root of all evil is the lack of money. That's why getting rid of all these government programs and not helping people have adequate housing and lying and saying that everybody has it good and all they can have to do is walk down the street to the local welfare office and they get help. It's not that simple. Some people are on waiting lists for housing for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and then the housing is still very expensive. We need change in the United States of America. It's not like what I grew up in. It is totally different. And hats off to the Roman Catholic Church, to the Vatican, to Pope Leo the 14th. God bless him. May he be able to lead a renaissance in America and the world and give peace and harmony to all, even those I just picked on. We're all God's people, including the Eastern European people, and as the Africans and the Chinese are. May he be a light, a global light to the world, giving peace to all. And I thank you for listening. This is House of Prozaroff, Thoughts from the Deep State, the Melting Snowflake. God bless all of you. May 8th, 2025, checking out.